All right, let's talk about artificial intelligence. There's so much hype and so much confusing jargon out there, it can feel like some kind of magic. But today, we're going to pull back that curtain. We're going to break down how AI actually works and shift our thinking from magic to mechanics, the kind of mechanics you can actually understand and control. Let's dive in. Here's the game plan. First, we'll get grounded in what AI is today. It's about advanced automation, not some magical thinking machine. Then we're going to map out the AI hierarchy, so all those buzzwords like ML and Gen AI finally click into place. After that, we'll get into a really crucial idea, the difference between an AI brain and an AI worker. And we'll wrap up by showing you why mastering control over AI is so much more powerful than just having a chat with it. Okay, first things first, we have to tackle the biggest misconception that's floating around. This idea that AI is a conscious entity that thinks for itself. To really use AI effectively, you have to deconstruct that hype and see what's actually going on under the hood. At its core, the AI we use every day is a prediction engine. That's it. It is incredibly, almost unbelievably good at recognizing and completing patterns based on the mountains of data it was trained on. But you have to know its limits. It's task-specific, meaning it's great at one thing, like writing code or summarizing text. It has zero intent of its own. And it is completely bound by your instructions. It literally does nothing until you tell it.
This slide draws a really important line in the sand. On one side, you've got the AI of today. We assign it goals, it's bound by our instructions, and it basically just matches patterns. On the other side is the sci-fi concept of AGI, or artificial general intelligence. That's the future idea of a system that could set its own goals and use genuine reasoning. The key takeaway? They are not the same thing, not even close.
So, why does getting this right matter so much? Because clarity gives you power. It stops you from worrying about some Skynet future because you know it's just a tool. It allows you to create leverage, to augment what you do, not replace who you are. And it lets you stop waiting for some magic moment and start mastering the real logic of automation right now.
Okay, so building on that, now that we know what AI isn't, let's actually map out the territory to understand what it is. We're going to see how all those confusing buzzwords fit together in a pretty logical way. So at the very, very top, we have artificial intelligence, or AI. Think of this as the huge umbrella that covers the entire field. It's the simple, broad idea of any machine that can mimic human intelligence in some way.
Now take one step down and you get to machine learning, or ML. This is where things get really interesting. With ML, we're not programming a computer with explicit rules. Instead, we feed it tons of data and let it learn the patterns for itself to make predictions.
And inside of machine learning, there's another layer called deep learning. This uses something called neural networks, which are complex systems kind of inspired by the structure of the human brain. They're amazing at processing really complex patterns, and they're the engine behind things like image recognition and understanding speech. And finally, that brings us to the one you're probably most familiar with, generative AI. This is a special kind of deep learning that doesn't just analyze or predict, it actually creates. It generates brand new content, text, images, code, you name it, all based on the patterns it learned. This image right here is the perfect way to picture it. Seriously, just think of it like a set of Russian nesting dolls. Generative AI is inside deep learning, which is inside machine learning, which all falls under that big umbrella of AI. Each one is just a more specific version of the one before it. To make it even clearer, you can think about this in 3 different buckets. On the left, you have the layers, which we just talked about. That's what AI can do. In the middle, you have the models, like LLMs. That's the specific tech for how it does it. And on the right, you have the systems, like chatbots and agents. That's how we actually use it out in the real world. And that brings us to one of the most important ideas you need to grasp if you want to go from just playing with AI to actually building with it. And that's the difference between an AI brain and an AI worker.
I mean, this quote really just says it all, doesn't it? An LLM, a large language model, can talk and reason. That's the brain. But an AI agent, an agent can actually get things done. That's the worker.
So an LLM is that powerful reasoning engine, right? It can understand language, answer your questions, think through problems. But an AI agent is the whole package. It takes that LLM brain and bolts on memory for context, tools to take action, and rules for control. It turns thinking into doing. And this slide highlights a huge shift in mindset. See, most people are users. They ask ChatGPT questions. But builders see that LLM as just one part of a bigger machine. They design workflows, connect tools, and automate actions to create real, working systems. That's the leap from tinkering with AI to creating real value with it.
So if we want to be builders, we have to learn how to control that AI brain. And this is key. It's not about having a more natural conversation with it. It's about giving it better, clearer instructions.
This brings us to the single biggest mistake almost everyone makes. We get obsessed with finding the perfect prompt, that one magic sentence, but we totally miss the real foundation, which is context. And when you give the AI no context, what do you get back? Generic, unfocused, and pretty much useless answers.
The fix isn't to be more clever, it's to be more systematic. This blueprint lays out the 6 ingredients you need for a truly brilliant instruction. You need to tell it what persona to adopt, give it context, define the task, show it an example, specify the format, and set the tone.
And would you just look at the difference this makes? On the left, a lazy, vague request gets you a generic list you could find anywhere. But on the right, a precise, structured instruction using that blueprint gets you a detailed, useful, personalized itinerary. It is a night and day difference.
And we're not just guessing here. The results are measurable. When you move from vague requests to structured instructions like this, people report up to a 70% increase in the quality of the output. It's just better.
Not only is the quality higher, you get there so much faster. Up to 3 times faster, because you're not doing that frustrating back and forth, trying to tweak your prompt over and over again to get what you want.
And what does all that add up to? It saves you the one thing you can't make more of: time. By mastering this, you could save as much as 50% of your time on a task, because you're getting it right the first time instead of editing a mediocre response.
So there you have it. We've gone from AI as confusing magic to AI as a set of powerful mechanics that you can actually understand and control. You have the blueprint for how it works and how to command it. So now, the only real question left is, what are you going to build?